Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tiny Towns at Noon. Good to see everybody today. My name is Ryan Dancy. I will be your host for the afternoon. We're going to start off by introducing everybody who's here on the broadcast with us. We'll start with Vladimir Orelyana. How
Hello,
you doing, Vlad?
everyone. Great.
Excellent. Josh Wood.
Hey, everybody.
All right. Mark Wooten.
Hey, how's it going, folks?
All right. The designer of Tiny Towns, Peter McPherson.
Hi, everyone.
John Zinzer, the AEG CEO.
Hi, everybody. I got a lot of background noise, so I'll be muted for most of the day.
All right. And Kim Breeze is joining us as our special guest.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Kim, who are you and what do you do?
I am, I use the word we a lot, but I am the executive producer for Tabletop Rebellion, a fun little, very small but growing tabletop review channel. Just sharing our love of board games with everybody else.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. We've got a couple of new buildings in the setup today. Pete, do you want to walk us through our structures?
Sure. And Vlad, are you able to put those larger on the screen there for a moment?
Yes, give me 1 second. You will have one in your left hand and the other in your right hand.
Okay, so the gray building is the outhouse, which is worth 1 point, and it holds 1 resource. So after you build it, if a resource comes up from the deck that you don't want to put in your town, you can instead throw it in your outhouse. You can only do that once for each outhouse, but I recommend building a few of them. It's pretty handy. And then we have the shrine, which is worth 2 points for each building type you have 4 or more of. And yes, that does count shrines if you manage to make 4 of them. So take a moment there to grab a screenshot or maybe set some cubes aside to remember the building patterns.
Excellent. We're also going to play today with the cottage, as we always do. The Taylor is our yellow building. The almshouse is our green building. The orchard is our red building, and the bank is our black building. All right, we're going to play in town hall mode today. What that means is that I'm going to be using this deck of cards I have, which has the resources on it, and I'm going to draw 2 resources in a row, and you'll place those anywhere on your board. And then the third resource we draw will be the back of the card, and that'll be player's choice. You can pick any resource you want and put it anywhere on your board. And we're going to go through the deck at least 3 times, sometimes 4. And if we get to the end of a deck and we are all done playing, Vlad will just put up some random resources on the screen, so anybody who needs them can play at home. All right, are we ready to begin? Have I forgotten anything, Vlad?
Oh yeah,
yes,
I need to say hi to everyone on the chat. I would like to say hi to Damien, Emily, CJ, Adam, David, Ernest, Amy, Thomas, and Kurt. Oh, also Julian, Tori, Allison, and I think I didn't miss anyone. And if I did, welcome to the game.
Wonderful. And we would really appreciate it if you would like and share and tweet and do all the social stuff just to help us increase the footprint for the show and get more people in. That'll allow us to offer some cooler prizes. All right, I think we're ready to begin. And the first draw off the deck is glass, blue.
Glass.
Blue.
Solid choice, right? Solid choice, buddy.
Yeah, it's always good to start with a resource that's not red in this setup. All right, the next draw is going to be, oh, there we go, brick.
Well, that didn't take long.
Say it, get it. That's the rule of. Wow.
I have this theory, right, that every time Josh and Pete don't win, they come up with a really difficult setup the next day so that one of them is going to win. So I think we're all paying the price because I beat them yet.
Look, I think yesterday's setup was pretty hard. Poor Emma Larkin shows up. We throw 2 new buildings at her in that crazy hard board.
Yeah.
That was rough. All right, the next draw is going to be player's choice, everybody. Player's choice. Pick any resource you want and put it anywhere on your board.
Should I choose brick?
Now you've said it, you have to choose it.
Yeah, no. No.
I think that's a rule.
Is it a rule? Is it? Oh,
I guess. I don't know. I'm not in charge. All right. The
mistakes have already been made. This is
yeah, right. I'm with you. I feel that
same here. I already messed up on the building patterns.
I was like, no, that's the wrong pattern. Oh well, it's too late now. Oh, well.
All right. The next draw off the deck is wood. Everybody, wood. Wood.
So Pete, I wanted to tell you this before we started the broadcast, but I just have like my stack of monument cards, and I peeled off 2 off the top, and it was Barrack Castle and Shrine of Theodore. I'm like, those are too good for today. And then I was like, well, I'll peel off the next one, and then just I'll keep peeling until I find one that I don't think is extremely good. And then it went like Mandra's Palace was next, and then it was Statue of the Bondmaker, and then and then it was Archive of the Second Age. Then it was like Sky Baths, and I was like, man, I just And then so today I'm playing with Grand Mausoleum, which I haven't won with yet, so I'm kind of excited.
All right.
Oh, you're trying to win with every single monument, Josh.
I'm playing.
That's a new challenge.
All right, I'm building an outhouse, you guys.
That is a good early build.
Early.
May not be a bad strategy.
Myself, yeah.
I don't know that it's in the best place. But...
Everybody is brick. There it is.
Oh no.
The brick nobody wanted.
Here we go.
All right, let's do this.
That brick has no home on my aspirational board.
Nope.
I have a plan.
Right.
I have a plan.
All right. Well, the next resource that you get pick is anything you want. It's player's choice.
Oof.
All right.
Also
Player's
the
choice.
best resource.
I'm getting a temple, you guys.
Okay, that's good.
You're gonna love it when your aspirational board is already out of date after just 4 picks, Ryan.
It is. Today, I only have 5 buildings on my whole aspirational board. I couldn't get any farther than that, and I've already screwed it up. Wow. Josh, I think anytime that you feel like you need a challenge, just play with Fort Ironweed.
There you go. Yeah.
I do think I will be doing a 4 Iron game soon.
Okay.
All right, the next draw off the deck is wheat.
Ooh,
Wheat's good.
Yellow.
where's the
I came in second recently with 4 Ironweed.
Yeah?
Yeah. That was
Like
like,
that's
or was it second? No, maybe it wasn't second. I did okay. I built 3 banks with 4 Ironweed, which was fun.
Came in
I feel like
second.
that's a sign of an expert player if you can win with Fort Ironweed. All right, everybody. The next draw off the deck is stone.
It's not what I wanted.
First stone.
It's not what I wanted.
Not what you wanted, but it is what you got.
This is true. Dang it.
The stone should be easy in this setup. I'm looking across my
I know there's a
row,
bunch
I
of
see stone everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
I mean, stone is going to be my dealer's choice every time, I think.
It's the go-to, right?
Mhm.
Well,
That's
you
true.
get to do that right now because it's player's choice.
Ooh. Hmm.
Oh,
Player's choice.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to make my monument, which is the Prism Forge,
Nice.
Ooh.
which I think might be pretty good in this setup.
Prison Forge would be cool because you can do a lot of weird things where you
Tailors and almshouses.
You build 2 different themes. Well, you're gonna do Taylor Almshouse with the
Yeah, I think so.
You can even
Taylor
do
and
temple. You can do Temple Almshouse with it. Yeah. You can do Temple Taylor. No, yeah.
Shrine,
you
you mean?
All right,
Shrine,
everybody,
you
the
don't
next
have
draw
temples.
is straw.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say Shrine. Yeah.
Wheat. Straw.
Something.
Yellow.
Okay. Okay.
Wheat.
Something I do at home a lot of times is sometimes I'll just I'll just set up like another card, and like I have like my temple card, and then I'll just put the cubes on there for these new cards. That way I don't have to like ever like look at the screen and go like, how do I build that?
That's a good idea.
All right, the
Good
next draw off the deck, everybody, is another wheat.
Ooh.
Okay.
We know what's going to happen. We see this.
Wheat.
We saw that yesterday.
Wheat.
Hmm.
Wheat.
Is that free wheat?
If that keeps happening, I'm in deep kimchi.
Hmm. Oh boy.
All right, the next draw is going to be player's choice.
So
which
Ernest
hopefully
is asking if everyone
bails
else
everybody
is
out.
taking wood, every single player's choice.
Wood. I'm not touching wood.
I'm taking stone.
Building a
Me too.
cottage.
Wood, very dangerous today. Unless you're trying to build a whole lot of shrines, I guess.
Hmm?
I'm going for a whole bunch of outhouses. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's good strategy. The way to dump off some unwanted cubes is definitely a pro move. All right, the next draw on the deck is glass, everybody. Blue.
I think I want that.
Blue. What do I want to do with that blue?
I'm going to build my second almshouse with that blue.
Nice.
Mm.
Second almshouse. Ah, the even numbers are good numbers.
Yeah, I can't avoid those things. I mean, like the almshouse is like it's like a big gigantic fish that I have to go out and try and catch.
Amy's saying that she's gonna build a bunch of banks, so try to put all the wheat from yesterday there.
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. All right. The next draw is wood. There's that wood.
And that's going to be my first bank.
I'm also building my first bank, and I didn't want to build a bank today, but I realized with all that wheat, and since my monument's Grand Mausoleum of the Rodina, I couldn't even throw it into like my orchard. So, yeah, I have a big hole in my strategy today.
You've got a bank. Yeah, it's just 5 points, but it restricts your options. All right, the last draw from the first go through the deck is player's choice. That is going to get me my second Taylor.
Yep, I'm doing a Taylor as well.
My first Taylor.
You guys in the Taylors, like you're going to get 7 points per Taylor. That's your goal. 7 times 7.
5 is the max you can hit, but you can make a lot of them.
Oh,
It's just all about Taylors. Players, I'd like to tell you about a special we're running right now in the online store for Guildhall Fantasy. We have a pretty spectacular deal running right now. We made a thing called the Box of Holding, which is designed to hold all of the 3 Guildhall Fantasy releases. And then I think there's actually some extra stuff in there as well from Guildhall The Gathering. So we've got a special deal running on the online store. That's aldracstore.com. And it's going to be up for a limited time only. The designer of that game has asked to have the rights back, and we have agreed to that. So this is going to be the last time you'll be able to buy Guildhall from us. When we are out, we will be out of the Guildhall business.
Wow.
And it's a good one. When I mentioned that before we started the thing, and everybody in the chat was like, "Oh, wait a second, I need to put my order in for one of those before they go away."
Right.
So Pete,
Emily says, "Wait, that conversation makes me think I don't understand the Taylors."
Yes.
So Taylors are worth 1 point plus 1 for each in the center. So if you have 4 Taylors in the 4 center squares of your board, they would be 5 points each. 1 plus 1 for each in the center. So they could be 5.
You could have a Taylor somewhere else and score another 5 points.
Yes. Yeah. You can have like a Taylor that's not in the center. That if you make one just in the corner and that's the only Taylor you make, it'll be worth 1 point. But then if you make one in the center and one in the corner, then they're worth 2 points each.
Exactly. All right, I've shuffled the deck up and we're ready to begin with the second go through. The first draw is Stone. Everybody's Stone.
Everybody's favorite.
All right.
Favorite.
I'm not using
of gray.
Stone today, to be fair. I don't think.
A little bit of gray.
All right, I'm gonna build an outhouse again.
Yeah, I'm building my first outhouse.
So
I
I'm
gotta have
getting a
something.
message from Twitter, Pete. And the message says, "Are we going to see a 6th resource in Tiny Towns eventually?"
A 6th resource. That's an interesting idea. Josh and I have a weird idea that we might implement that is sort of like a 6th resource. I think Josh knows what I'm talking about.
Nope.
No.
I know what you're talking about. I was paying attention to the car, even though I was driving.
I might be understanding what you're talking about, but that face on Josh. Okay, let me do a close-up on Josh.
Nice.
Look, it's mostly because I feel like I have not got enough sleep the last couple of days. So I think we've talked about there being 3 more resources and also the one resource that I think you're talking about. Peter, do you know about the 3 resources I was talking about?
Yes, of course. Naturally.
Oh man, I feel Pete doesn't know. Maybe I just had a weird fever dream last night. Who knows?
Who knows? All right, everybody. The next draw off the deck is wheat. Wheat.
All right, I have a plan for that.
Does Josh know things? What does he know?
Maybe.
Let's find out.
Oh boy. Yes.
I love BoJack Horseman. I'm rewatching all of it right now. It's
Are
probably
you-
my fourth or fifth time watching it.
You know, there's strange things in that show that just stick in my mind, and that's one of them. Is the game show that they have in that show. It's odd, the stuff that sticks in your head from that show.
Yeah. That's definitely like one of the inspirations in Santa Monica, for instance. You know, they also do a lot of like those like pun-like stores and that kind of feel.
Yeah.
The
That's
artist,
fun. Yeah. I absolutely can see that. Those two, yeah, they share a lot.
yeah,
For real.
the artist for that, Lisa Hannawalt, man, she has a book called Hot Dog Eating Challenge or something. That's like really good. Like she's just very funny and very interesting to talk about.
I would watch a Santa Monica show.
Yeah.
The cast.
All right, guys. So we're getting those TV rights for me.
All right. The next draw off the deck, everybody, is Player's Choice. Player's Choice. Player's Choice.
It's really bad because I want to use Brick as my player's choice right now, but I can't because it's on my bank.
Oh. Plus, now that you said it, you're going to get one anyway.
Yes, that's
Fingers crossed. Anyway, yeah.
Are you guys binging more TV shows in the current situation, Startup?
What do you? We don't understand the question, Glad.
Are you guys binging more TV shows?
Oh yeah.
I'm re-binging stuff.
Re-binging.
Re-binging.
It was so good, I'm binging it again.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I'm watching a ton of this show called Caribbean Life by people who pick up and move to the Caribbean, and it's becoming less of a fantasy and more of a plan every day.
That's what I was going to ask. Does that becoming your plan now?
All right, everybody. Stone is the draw.
Purses.
That's not
Stone.
Purses.
Not the brick I need.
And where do you want to move on the Caribbean? Jamaica?
I think the U.S. Virgin Islands would be the most comfortable place for us. But I'm open to other things. Selena really likes Roatan. We spend a lot of time in the Caribbean. We're scuba divers. So we've been down there quite a bit. We've never lived the island lifestyle. We just go to a resort or whatever for scuba diving. But I like everything about the Caribbean. So, and the beauty of AEG is we're all virtual. For folks watching at home, AEG doesn't have an office. We all work from our houses and from some shared office space. So we could work anywhere. And there's really no good reason I'm not working from a beach today.
Other than your wife's, law practice.
There is excellent reasons, yes. All right. The next draw off the deck is the dreaded Brick. We avoided it that first deck, but we finally got one.
Love it. I'm playing a strategy that uses Brick. I want you to go brick, 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 Ryan. Come on.
Is not going to happen.
All right, new cottage.
Not going to happen.
The board is a little scary, actually.
It's very scary. It's very, very scary.
All right, everybody. The next draw is Player's Choice. So, Mark, that can be as bricky as you want to be.
I want Brick because it's going to mess everybody else up. Not
I see. You're doing that. No. Okay. You're that kind of player.
All right, that is bank number 2.
Sorry, was that ever a question?
That's a surprise to you, Ryan?
I've got 3 tailors built. That was surprising. But that actually worked for a change.
So Emily's binging Once Upon a Time. Damien's doing the second season of The Hollow, and we'll start Community soon. Community is on my shows to watch, but I don't really like that whole last bit of it, so I just don't know. I feel already anxious about having to rewatch bad episodes again. But Amy says that she's rewatching the Harley Quinn cartoon on Sci-Fi.
That's good. The new one is really good.
Is it? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, go for it. It's a nice change, and it's the closest thing to the DCU animated universe. Then it's worth watching. Go for it.
Nice. All right, everybody. The next draw off the deck is Stone.
Yes, my plan is working.
Stone plan is working.
How have I run out of stone cubes? I need stone very badly, but I haven't built anything with it yet.
Oh my word.
I guess that whole brick thing just burned out.
That kind of fell through real quick, didn't it?
Well, it was the stone thing that really killed me.
All right, okay.
3 stone this round. Come on,
All right. Yeah, this is not looking good.
David is saying that he has been to Puerto Rico, Cuba, Bahamas, and in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Jessica Vectol is saying that she's binging Mel Brooks movies.
Jessica, we should be friends.
Does everyone have a favorite Mel Brooks movie that they would like to talk
Spaceballs.
about?
Spaceballs.
It's difficult to beat Spaceballs.
Or Young Frankenstein.
Young
Don't get soft
Frankenstein for me.
Wow, you guys, that is hilarious that the Western is not number one on any.
Blazing
Oh, I
Saddles?
do like
Saddles is
that one
mine.
too, but
Might be Young Frankenstein. It's between those two. Those
Oh, I
are
love-
my two favorites. Blazing
well, I always
Saddles.
watched Spaceballs as a kid with my dad, like every weekend. So I knew that before I knew Star Wars. So Star Wars was the spoof for me.
Ludicrous speed.
So my husband does not appreciate how much I quote that movie around the house, but
All right, the next draw off the deck is wood.
Good,
Wood.
good stuff.
oh,
Darth
bother.
Helmet would approve.
Oh, bother.
There's
I
a
may-
line I always quote in Young Frankenstein that is not like a very famous line that I just love, and like I always like, but it requires two people to do the full quote. So like I'll say the first part, and then I want my girlfriend to say the second part, and then she like never picks up on it, and she's like, "That's such a random thing that you're quoting. Like, why would I know to say that next?" You know?
Everybody wonders. All right, that means it's time for a player's choice. Any resource you want, put it on your board, bail yourself out.
Getting a Taylor bill.
Alms House number 1.
Whoa, what is happening?
What was the last resource you name it, Ryan?
It was wood. So in reverse order, it was player's choice, wood, stone, player's choice.
Thank you.
I'm doing really bad. Look at this. I just have this wheat just chilling out in the center of my town. Right now.
You don't know what that wheat is for, Josh? Have you broken the jar?
Yeah, I do know. It's for a cottage that's going to snake into here. And the only reason why I had to put in the center is because I was working on this temple. This shrine right here. But now, like, depending on what you call next, it could be a real problem for me.
All right. Well, let's see if we can create a real problem for Josh with this fantastic glass.
Oh, crumbs.
That's a good thing for me.
Okay.
Gosh darn it. I literally just iron lawed myself into that glass. Oh,
Oh, boy. Okay.
that was not what I wanted.
What do I want to do?
Have some
I
bread.
need a brick.
I am
That's
sort of
really what
making
I
a
need.
mess.
I should know better.
Come on, Brick.
All right. We are going to go with wheat.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Oh,
that
that's
was-
very good.
Okay.
Wheat was
So bad.
Okay.
An orchard, and then also using the prison forge is going to make me an outhouse.
Nice.
Catherine is saying that one of the best Mel Brooks movies is Dracula Dead and Loving It.
No, there you go.
And
He made
Jessica-
an amazing number of movies. There really is no modern Mel Brooks, right? There's nobody who just
Oh,
makes
yeah.
comedies.
No.
What's that called? Wheat?
Yes.
That
Yes.
was wheat. And that means the next call is player's choice.
Okay.
Player's choice.
Oh, boy.
All right. Now I'm building a cottage that's actually going to be fed and score some points. That's a shocker.
That's going to be another almshouse.
Yeah, that was I'm looking going, why? I have no idea why I put an outhouse where I put an outhouse, but it's in an absolutely worthless spot.
I'm gonna have a bunch of blank squares on this board, which kind of
Might be able to get a cottage over there. I don't know.
All right, the next draw off the deck, everybody, is wheat.
Good.
Wheat.
That's
Come on.
not what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
I put it on my bank for a reason.
Wheat.
3 wheat and 3 stone.
Why did you guys decide to change wheat to wheat and not straw? It was straw.
I-
That
right?
was me.
I wonder that to this day.
Ooh.
You don't build
That was
with
me. I felt like it
Pigs
made
had no
more
wheat
sense.
house. All right, it's a mystery. Wait, you guys have an answer to everything about this game. You don't have an answer to why you named the yellow resource.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the reason. The idea is that straw is something that you would actually build a house out of, right? Like you could do thatched roofs or whatever.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was better that like wheat, since it's in the cottages and it's in the farm buildings, it makes more sense for like it's sort of like a stand-in for food.
Okay.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why I made that decision, and I think it's the only decision I've made on this in the entire project that maybe Pete really disagrees with me on.
I wish I had been in that meeting because that decision is bad.
You're wrong.
Oh.
The beauty of it is that all we would have to do is change the word in the rule book, and it would go back to straw. Like it's not the word isn't printed anywhere up on the rule book. All right.
Yeah,
straw is brick. Everybody, brick.
I'm with Pete as well, but I love that you actually found the 1 point of contention, Ryan. You found
it only took 48 days or something. Man, crazy. All right, and then the last draw off the deck is going to be player's choice, of course. That's our second run through the deck.
Well,
you guys
all right, I got a cottage.
Any resource that you want.
Amy saying that he hates wheat.
My outhouse
Amy
worthwhile
saying
now.
that wheat is edible, but straw is not.
That's right.
Yes, I'm going for my third bank, and I need another wheat to be called in order to do it.
Okay, third bank.
I also think that I make a lot. I play a lot of Euro games, so wheat is like a standard.
I can see that. I can see that.
Kim, while I'm shuffling the deck, do you want to tell us a little bit about the stuff that your group is producing? Anything we should be particularly interested in watching?
Well, we've definitely got some reviews. We are starting to do live streams. So with kind of like what you guys are doing, this is a really fun way to reach out to people and play games and interact, since we can't get our normal game group quite back together yet.
Yeah.
So we've been testing a couple of games with some friends that we want to start trying to do on weeknights and things like that. So people can come over, hang out, play a game, and feel a little more connected.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, everybody, we're going to begin the third go-through on the deck. The first draw is
brick.
Oh,
yes. Oh no!
Oh, that's just terrible news. Mark, how can you be celebrating? How can you possibly be celebrating?
Oh no!
That's awesome. So my last turn with my player's choice was really nice for me because I got my my Architects Guild and turned 2 full outhouses into tailors.
Oh,
and completely reopened my board, and then the brick was the thing that actually let me complete another cottage. So yeah, it was good.
That sounds like victory for Mark. Mark's running ahead of it today.
Uh-oh.
All right, the next draw is, look at that, another brick.
Oh,
crumbs.
That's what outhouses are
crumbs.
for. That is what outhouses are for.
Brick.
I just used it for that. I need another.
Oh my gosh, not good.
I'm okay with that.
Well,
the resources that are in the outhouse don't count as -1 at the end of the game, right?
That's correct.
Amy has a question, just for understanding. Once you build a bank, you can no longer use that resource at all, right? No, when they call that resource, you still have to place that resource. It's just that when it's dealer's choice, you cannot choose that resource.
Yeah, you can't choose it for yourself.
It's like the worst of both worlds, is what it is.
I don't disagree.
It is known. All right, that means the next draw is player's choice, everybody. Player's choice.
Okay, I'm building another tailor.
I'm wondering if I'm only going to get 2 almshouses this game.
So I have 3 right now, and I'm scared because I don't have a lot of time.
That's the thing that's happened.
I'm kind of hoping you finish on 3, Josh. What can I say?
Very dangerous.
Well, I'm not going to get 4 shrines, 4 cottages, and 4 almshouses, which is what my plan was. Unless we hit a really good string of resources.
All right, the next draw is wheat.
Oh, I should have chosen wood. I should have chosen wood back there. Oof.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That wheat makes it impossible.
And the draw after wheat is stone. Oh, that's what I actually needed.
That is not what we were going for.
All right, I got that 4th tailor in the center, so I'm not going to get skunked in this game.
I got 3 in the center.
Not a great score, but not a goose egg either. All right, the next draw off the deck is going to be dealer's choice, player's choice. Any resource you want.
Making a cottage.
That is bank number 3.
Oh Ryan, what do you think it should be the giveaway of the day?
Oh my goodness, I wasn't even thinking about it. Wow. Well, I think we should definitely give away Guildhall, right? We got to give
we
somebody the
should give
Guildhall.
away some Guildhall.
We want to get that Guildhall out there and make people know what a cool game it is. Okay, let me think. Let me think, and I'll come up with a Guildhall question.
Sure.
Guildhall fantasy will not involve holding a pig.
So someone needs to explain me what's the story with the pig.
I can explain.
So the very first edition of Guildhall that AEG produced was AEG's attempt at making a Euro-style game. And at the time, the people at AEG thought Euro games were all about farming. So the art on the cover of the original Guildhall game is a bunch of villagers, and one of them is a guy just holding a pig. 2 pigs? There's pigs involved. All right. The next draw is Stone, everybody. Stone.
Exciting.
So yeah, there was a little bit lost in translation, I think, in the definition of what a Euro game is like. And the game is really good, and a lot of people at AEG love that game, and it didn't sell very well, and there was a lot of people who thought, well, maybe it's just because it had bad cover art.
That's not 100% true. It sold very well for our board games at that time, but it was not taking off to like stratospheric levels.
So we redesigned the game and made it a fantasy game, and now it's called Guildhall Fantasy, and it has really cool like D&D Warhammer style art in it, and it's a game about set collection, and there's it's got a lot of really clever mechanics in it that are easy to understand. When you first look at the rule book, you think, wow, this is complicated, but you play it once or twice and you're like, wow, this game is really fun and easy. So we're going to make sure that gets in the hands of some people. All right, the next draw off the deck is wood. Everybody, wood.
Yay!
Oh, sort of afraid of
outhouse. Hallelujah. Praise all the outhouses.
Filling my board up with outhouses.
I didn't need it there. I needed it there.
I'm going to have to fill my board with outhouses too.
I'm in deep trouble.
Is next up a dealer's choice, or do we have one from the deck?
Dealer's choice is the next draw.
That's good.
Okay,
that
cool.
Yep.
Jessica is saying that she loves Guildhall, and Leslie is saying that wood, please send more wood.
Send more wood.
Another
all right.
And that's about the only other thing that I can build. I think that's all I got. Yep. There are plenty of places to do your business in my tiny town.
That's good. That's good.
There's no line.
So actually, I haven't even.
The deck is wheat.
Oh, I know what I needed.
Wow.
Wheat.
Wait.
All right. I'll make a cottage.
What was I thinking there?
3, 6, 8 wheat.
So the funny story, Ryan, about that as well is we talk about what we thought was a Euro game, but the original pitch we came up with wasn't actually even for that. The original discussion that we came up with was to make it a game about Egypt, and then we all talked and went, no, we could never sell a game about Egypt.
Wow, really?
Yes.
That's
really genuinely, yeah. The first idea we came up with was a game about ancient Egypt, and as it turns out, a game about ancient Egypt can be really good.
Yeah.
Pete, I have 2 questions for you from the chat.
Sure.
Emily is asking if the outhouse is worth any points, and Justin is asking how does the team decide the Tetris shape for each building?
So for Emily's question, it's worth 1 point. And I'm sorry, what was the second question, Vlad?
How does the team decide the Tetris shape of each building?
I mean, I think the shape sort of corresponds with what the building looks like. So all of the orange buildings, they all have that L pattern, and the building sort of goes like that. And then it's a little bit lost, but like stuff like the Taylor, the prototype building I use had like a bit of a T shape. It's sort of similar-ish, but I think you can sort of look at each building, look at the structure a little bit. Like a cottage has got some bricks down there, and then glass, and then the straw thatched roof up there for the yellow.
The wheat thatched roof.
Yeah,
I think I can actually handle this question because I think that this is actually a slightly different question. I think it's like when we come up with a building, how do we know which one it goes in? And the only way I can explain that is actually that each of these buildings have a very specific category. Like if you told me a building that we were going to put in the game, we know which color it has to go in, right? Like obviously all the food and farm buildings go in the red, and like all the religious buildings go in the orange, but there's actually ones for like the green and the yellow and the black that, you know, that Pete and I have definitely thought about too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Tiny Towns Pantheon for all these religious buildings, Josh?
Oh, wow.
All right, Ryan, give us another resource.
All right, the next resource is another
Oh,
Wow.
Wait, are you doing that on purpose?
wheat.
there's
So we just got maximum wheat.
Maximum wheat.
Yeah.
That's
Every single round we got the maximum amount of wheat possible.
Oh,
all
that
right.
is the
I
worst.
am.
Wow, that's just gonna really
Hurt.
in.
It's gonna hurt.
I mean, I've got
I
one
am.
resource.
I'm doing a little research here. Give me just 1 second, and I'm going to have a trivia question for us.
Well, I got some trivia questions.
I got a good one. Hang on.
All right.
All right.
There is some, by the way, there is some general Pantheon lore that I know that Pete and I have discussed. I know that we definitely wanted to create like a religious symbol that does like live, and we were thinking it would be like a grain or a seed, because I know that what Pete and I have discussed is that since they are like, you know, since this is still kind of in the medieval to Renaissance age, they would be in this sort of idea of like growth from the ground and like seeds and like wheat. But obviously it's difficult because we have a lot of very traditional Christianity like style buildings in the game, like with like chapels, but temples in the game, and a temple is used across many different religions. And so we don't have an exact methodology to it, but there is some thought into that.
All right. Okay, everybody. The next draw is Player's Choice.
aha.
I did not know we had Player's Choice coming up.
And this is going to be your trivia question. If you added up the MSRP, the manufacturer suggested retail price, for all 4 of the Guildhall releases that AEG has published in the Guildhall Fantasy line, what would be the total price you would pay at your friendly local game store before tax? There's 4 SKUs, and they each have an MSRP. So add up the MSRP for all 4, and what would be your total price?
So Josh answering that question that I asked about the Pantheon, you know, deliberately trying to find something that they hadn't thought of, has given me an idea for a game we should do on here sometime, which is based on an old UK game called Call My Bluff. And what we should do is get them to we should get them to explain some sort of random lore about tiny towns. You have to work out whether it's actually in the game or whether it's a complete bluff.
Right.
Oh, that sounds like tons of fun.
Could just be nonsense.
Ryan,
all right, the next
I got
draw,
some questions, some answers. Jessica
all right,
says...
let's do this first. The next draw is glass. And Vlad, ask your question.
Okay. They're saying, sorry, 135, 160, 85. Any of those 3 is correct?
Those are not correct.
Okay, thank you.
First, I thought those people reporting their score sounds like we have liars out there.
All right.
Oh, that one doesn't. No matter what I play, I'm out.
The next draw is brick.
Oh, nice.
Just no fixing it.
Oh.
Brick. Yeah, I'm out too.
You know, if that second wheat was a brick, I'd be doing really well right now. Instead, I am out.
Said you're out. Okay.
Aye.
All right. And the final draw from this go through on the deck is Player's Choice, everybody. Player's Choice.
That's a nice way to end it.
No.
Jessica's just punching random numbers.
I will tell the folks watching at home that Guildhall Fantasy had very unusual pricing for AEG. They were not priced like anything else that we've sold. They had odd prices.
Okay. CJ says that it's so much. Then Jessica says 145, 87, 125, and then Tori says 145. Is any one of
Well,
those
those are all
correct?
wrong. 125 was closer than 145, though.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm taking
But
a huge
the Google
risk.
foo is not strong today with these people. Excellent. All right. That was the third run through in the deck. While I'm shuffling, Mark, do you want to tell us a little bit about Dead Reckoning?
Absolutely. So Dead Reckoning, that's easy for you to say. Dead Reckoning is Dead Reckoning is a game of swashbuckling adventure on the high seas. It's a 4X meets card crafting game where you can employ a number of different strategies to essentially level up a crew of sailors that you have on board your ship. You represent the sort of master of the ship. You can take strategies that involve a sort of more mercantile approach. You can be an explorer. You can be a sort of privateer, combining strong military presence with harvesting from the islands, or you can be an out pirate and just attack people and try and steal all their booty. The game is geared so that it ends when players have carried out a certain number of achievements, and each achievement is uniquely positioned to coincide with some of those different strategies. So you're trying to race to do your strategy effectively and to end the game on your own terms.
It's designed by John DeClaire and illustrated by Ian O'Toole.
I was just about to say those two things.
Very good.
You know, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of pirate themed games. I just think pirates are kind of terrible people, and so I don't really like playing pirate games. But I actually really enjoy this one, and I think one of the reasons is because you don't have to be a pirate. You can you can do just sort of more of this just general high seas kind of nonsense or whatever. But then what's really fun to do is just like people know that about you, and then you're always playing the game as like a merchant. And then just one day you just like kind of attack everyone out of the blue, like after playing like 80% of the game, like being like a merchant, and then just all of a sudden starting to attack people, and people are like, that came out of nowhere.
No one expects Josh the pirate. All right, the first draw on the next go through the deck is glass.
Oh man, that is good. I'm still in. That was a
I'm
really
out.
He's in.
call for me.
I'm still in, but
Mark is still in. Well, Mark is winning because he had the mojo turn.
No, I'm not going to win today.
All right, John, are you still in?
John is out.
All right, John.
That was a bad call for you because of what's on your banks. There's no way you can make that into a cottage.
Don't care. I just need a gray so I can make my 4th almshouse.
Oh, I see. I didn't notice.
The draw is a wheat.
Yeah, and that I do not care about.
I'm out.
Down there.
All right, Mark is out. Player's choice.
Whew.
Did we stump the internet today, Vlad?
I think so. Well, let me give you the next round of results and numbers.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Look for somebody around $128.
I have.
Ooh, there was somebody close.
I have 120, 130, 121, 123, 4, 112, 129 with 99 cents, 128 with 99 cents. 15. No, that's a result. 111 and 96. 119 and 99.
All right. There were 3 Guildhall expansions priced at $27.99, which is a weird price for us. I have no idea how we got $27. All right. The next draw is wheat.
Terrible.
Wheat. So there were 3 at $27.99, and then there's a 4th one that's out there, Guildhall the Gathering.
Ooh, it was a tricky question.
Yeah, I said there's 4 SKUs. That's right.
And how much was Guildhall the Gathering?
Well, I'm not going to say that. Somebody's got to figure out. They got to do the multiplication, multiply $27.99 by 3, and then figure out what Guildhall the Gathering cost.
See, we're not out of school yet.
All right, the next draw is brick.
And I haven't given you the exact result, right?
You know, Julian asked the questions, will there be anything else in the Villagers expansion other than new cards? Yes, of course. There's going to be new mechanics. And I'll just put it this way. There will be villagers in the game.
Villagers.
Yay! Oh,
Will be villagers.
big spoiler.
That's awesome.
All right, the next draw is player's choice.
And I'm out, by the way.
All right, Pete's out. We may be done.
Oh man.
Ryan, can you repeat the resources of this round?
Yes. In reverse order, it was player's choice, brick, wheat, player's choice, wheat, glass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Andy Vet says 128.96.
That is the correct answer. Give
Ooh,
that
math.
a prize. Fantastic. And the reason I wanted to highlight that fact is just to point out what a fantastic deal the Guildhall offer is.
Yeah,
It's
really.
on sale for $59.99.
Woo!
So you're getting a heck of a lot of Guildhall for a very good price. Oh, and look at that. They actually had the price on the website. If you would have looked up Guildhall on our website, you would have found the price.
Oh, wow.
I did all the math longhand, and I could have just looked on my own website. All right.
Check that out.
That was the sucker.
Vlad, do you want to just pop up a bunch of resources? I think we're basically finished here, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm pointing out some resources.
All right, we're all done. So we're going to score our boards at home.
And Andy, make sure you message Vlad with your information. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, he can send us a message on Facebook, and someone from the team will take care of him.
Absolutely. I'm going to quickly score my board, which won't be hard to do because I hardly scored any points.
This was a
Kim,
tough round.
What are your favorite kind of games, Kim? When you're just like, I'm not working, I'm not showing off to anybody, I just want to pull out a game and play.
I love tile placement games.
Okay.
Abstract games like this. Oh, I love abstract games like this.
Good.
Most of the time they work in my brain. Today, maybe I didn't do so hot, but that's okay. So we this is a big hit with us. Even our nephew, who's when he started playing this one, he was about 12, loves this game. I own my husband in Azul a lot, so that's fun. Any game that I can beat him at is, I don't care if I win, if it's a 4-player game or whatever. I don't care if I come in first. I just have to place higher than him. That's how it works at home. And we play a lot of deck builders too, and D&D. We're in a couple of D&D campaigns.
Oh, right on.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So.
All right, let's do some scores. Vlad, did you play today?
Nope.
All right, Josh, how'd you do?
sorry, real quickly, Outhouse is 1 point to the people who are asking in the chat.
Yes, 1 point.
My score is 32.
32. That's an excellent score. John Zinzer, how'd you do?
I scored 29 today. All that wheat just clogged me up. I couldn't get to.
All right, Mark Wooten, how'd you do?
26.
26. Pete McPherson, how'd you do?
33.
30. Oh, good score in the clubhouse. I had 27. Kim, in your house, you try to beat your husband. In our house, I just try to beat Mark. So, beat Mark.
I understand. I had 27 as well. So we
27 for Kim. That's a good score.
I'll take it. I was a little nervous. I'm like, uh-oh, but it worked out okay.
You did great.
I messed
20,
up.
I think 20 is par. 20 is the minimum you should shoot for.
I messed up the fourth tailor in the center, which ended up costing me 12 points.
Oh,
I just randomly have a wood there, and I don't know where my brain was or what I was thinking, and I put another tailor down, and it's just there.
Right.
There's nothing I can do about it. So.
Did Pete do our winner today, or was it Josh?
No, Pete got me by 1 point.
33 and 32. My bank strategy finally paid off. 3 banks.
It paid off.
Worked out.
Awesome.
I have to try that strategy sometime. I haven't tried that route.
This is one game where it did not hinder me once having. Well, I was waiting for wheat for a little bit, but it didn't get too scary. Otherwise, I was absolutely fine not calling wheat, brick, or wood. So.
Oh, super clever.
And the highest
Right,
score
Vlad,
from the chat.
Did I skip,
Sorry?
Vlad, did I skip anything in the script?
No, you didn't skip anything on the script. Thank you so much.
All right. Working with
Emmy had 42 points today. That's so it's always great. It's always great when someone out there beats
nice.
The designer and the developer? Yes.
42 is a lot. I would love to see what that board looks like.
Yeah.
My spec board was 50 points, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit the 50 today.
All right, Kim. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks
it was great
for having me. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
We hope everybody.
I'm gonna go get some Guildhall.
Yeah, right. Check out your content, and everybody stay home and stay safe, and do what you can to protect your family. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for
Space Base.
Cool. It's gonna be awesome. All right, Space
Bye,
Base on
everyone.
Friday. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Hey.
See ya.
Everybody.